Got more sake?
I just got back from Japan, an American doing Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, and it was one of the best trips that I have experienced. But I kept having these moments where I was like, wait, why didn't anyone tell me about this? Because what Japan feels like in real life is different than what you see online. Also to note, none of this is sponsored. It's just my honest thoughts about my experience. Japan is efficient, but it is not always intuitive.
Oh, that's our train.
And the first time that this clicked was at the airport. We landed at Haneda, 14-hour flight, long one. And we're like, let's just get to this hotel. And there were options everywhere. Train, limo bus, taxi, but each one is in a completely different place. So we found ourselves going up elevators, across bridges, down hallways. We did this loop for like 30 minutes.
Honestly, this is kind of confusing.
Eventually we just stopped and we're like, we cannot keep doing this. And we just took the taxi. So yes, it was the more expensive option, but after a 14-hour flight, we were absolutely spent. And that's when it clicked for me, is that Japan works incredibly well, but you still have to learn how to move through it.
We gotta get up for our checkout time.
Honestly, the hotels, they're small, like 2 twin beds touching small, but the quality I found to be quite excellent. The showers, the toilets, the heated seats, the water closets, elite. Honestly, Japanese bathrooms might deserve their own video. So don't over prioritize the room size, prioritize the location. Stay somewhere that lets you walk, because the more inconvenient your hotel is, the more you're spending on taxis and the more energy you're losing just trying to get home. The physical part is real. No one prepared me for how physical this trip would be. Day 1, you feel fine, right? You're a little jet lagged. Day 2, you're starting to notice the wear. Day 3, you feel it because you're not just walking. It's more about how it compounds. 10, 15, 20,000 steps a day, stairs, hills, train transfers, standing. And then you wake up and you do it again. Some days we had bags, some days we didn't. But either way, by the end of the day, your body is done. So buy the insoles before you leave the States. Break in those brand new white shoes. You don't want to get dirty. And trust me, you have to prioritize function over fashion. Next is the luggage forwarding is worth it, but it's not magic. People make it sound like your bags are just immediately delivered and that everything is so easy, but not exactly. We found that it usually takes 1 full day for your bags to get to where you need them to be. And then your next hotel has to be able to accept it. And you may need to drop it off by a certain time. And you're still going to need that overnight bag, which means you're kind of backpacking through Japan. And you're carrying that through train stations, streets, stairs, hotels. So pack that bag carefully. And I found it helpful to put an air tag in my suitcase because where I told them to deliver it may not always be where it actually lands. And that little reassurance helped us find our luggage one time. This one caught me off guard. Me and my bestie, we thought we loved Japanese food. And then after our 5th bowl of ramen, we're like, oh, we love American Japanese food. It's different there. It's more subtle, less sauce, less salt. But when it's good, it is really, really good.
Sold out. Sorry. I want to say sold out. Sorry.
We had a handful of meals that were incredible. And after like 3 or 4 bad days of why does Japan not have any good food, we finally figured out the key is to going to places that specialize in one thing. Go to the place that is only serving onigiri. Go to the place that is only serving okonomiyaki. The food that actually hit, I want to get this. I want to be able to pronounce this right. Hikiniku to come. You may have seen it. These like viral hamburgers was one of the best food experiences I've ever had. And I've been to Michelin star restaurants all around the world. And this was one of my favorite spots. The food, the interaction, the way they prepared it in front of you, it was exceptional.
I'm not even like joking.
Yeah.
How is it so juicy?
It was also like $40 for 2 people. Book the reservation. This is one of those places you have to have the reservation, book it in advance, but I promise you it's worth it. Just do it. My friend didn't even like hamburgers and she's like, oh yeah, this place is fire. We also went to this dipping noodle spot that I thought was incredible. The broth had so much depth. They had this like roast beef in there, melted in your mouth. The cold noodles with the hot broth. It was so good. And 7-Eleven, honestly, it was clutch. The onigiri there, the egg sando with the chicken cutlet, fire. But you have to taste test your way around 7-Eleven. You'll have plenty of opportunities. Not everything there is worth the hype. Some of it's just fine. And if you love American coffee, you'll probably find yourself at Starbucks. Editing Jasmine here. These are the things I'm still thinking about a week after my trip. Salmon nigiri at Tsukiji Sushi, French toast, Bistro Rogiera, garlic salt tonkatsu from Tonkatsu Tsukiyoma, the cream puffs from Muken, the garlic fried rice from Zundoya. Please, please go get this onigiri from N. It's in Osaka. We tried several experiences. These are the ones that I found to be worth it. Mario Kart, absolutely worth it.
This is so cool. I love this so much.
Driving through Tokyo dressed in costume, people taking pictures of you like you're a celebrity, going through Shibuya Crossing in this little mini cart. It felt surreal. You're so low to the ground. The engine is revving. You're driving on the opposite side of the road. And the good thing is you don't have to really think. Like there's a guide there in front of you who is directing you through traffic and telling you when to stop and go. It was one of those moments where I had the biggest Kool-Aid smile on my face the entire time. And that was one of the highlights of my trip. One thing to know, if you do decide to get it, you have to get an international driver's permit. It sounds scary. It's not. It takes 20 minutes at your local AAA, $20, and you're ready to drive Mario Kart in a foreign country. How cool. Not everything landed for me. Although the kimono experience, it looked beautiful, photos turned out great, the process actually felt pretty transactional. You were brought into this shop, told to pick out things pretty quickly. You were sent into this room with probably about 15, 20 other girls also getting dressed. And then everything is an add-on. If you want your hair done, that's extra. Accessories, extra. Any upgraded pieces, say you want a nicer purse or an extra bedazzle on your belt, that's all extra. And I should have known this going in, but as a Black woman with thick hair, they really didn't know how to handle it. So that part was like pretty frustrating for me. Overall, I'm glad I did it once, but I probably wouldn't do it again. And if you're considering it and doing it for the photos, yeah, you might enjoy it. But if you're expecting it to be this slow, intentional, immersive experience, just know that it may not feel that way. And in partnership with that, we went to a tea ceremony. That also didn't fully land for us. As someone who used to make matcha every day, it felt more of the same. And I think I was looking for more of the cultural, historical component. And we went to the sushi class. That was fine. If you've made sushi before, this will feel really familiar. The massage on day 4, though, I needed every bit of that. We also booked a traditional ryokan because we wanted something that felt like really authentic, and visually it was stunning. The presentation was beautiful. The food, it looked Michelin level. This feels so like luxurious. I feel like I'm at a Michelin star. But the taste, we realized we didn't love super traditional Japanese meals like that. And the onsen, although it was beautiful, it was shared and it was timed, which is normal. We knew that going into it. But I think it's worth knowing that you may not be sitting there for hours on end, basking in relaxation. For us, the water was so hot that we were good after about 15 minutes. So again, glad we did it once. Wouldn't repeat it. Markets, temples, and shopping start to blend. Honestly, this surprised me as someone who loves to shop and eat. After a while, a lot of the things started to feel similar. Markets especially. We went to too many. I would recommend picking 1 or 2 out of your entire trip. You're not missing Japan by skipping the rest of them. And same with the temples. This might just be us, but we went to Sensoji on one of our first nights and it was beautiful. Like truly beautiful. But after a little while, we were ready to go. I mean, we're Christian, so temples weren't spiritual for us. They were visual and cultural. And after seeing 1 or 2 of them, we didn't need 5 more. And you also may hear about vintage shopping. We thought it would feel more luxurious, but it felt like rows and rows of bags behind glass, still expensive, pretty worn, and honestly kind of unremarkable. So don't feel like you have to do every hyped thing. Some of the best moments were things we never planned. We found this street artist doing calligraphy, writing your name in Japanese, and we stopped. We talked to him, we heard his story, and watched him create art made from our names in front of us. If we were rushing on to the next thing in our itinerary, we would have missed it. And that same thing kept happening. Some of the best parts of the trip you don't find online. You just have to be open enough to notice them. And one of my favorite moments was walking in Kyoto in the rain. I bought one of those clear umbrellas from 7-Eleven and just went out and started exploring. Everything slowed down. The streets were quieter. The reflections on the ground were beautiful. The shops felt calmer. There weren't as many people out. It felt peaceful, almost like a reset before really experiencing Kyoto. And honestly, it was one of those moments in the trip where I was like, yeah, this is why you leave room in the itinerary. I came into Japan with a list. I wanted a knife, ceramics, a Japanese Bible, very specific things that I wanted to bring home. And what happened was I started turning the trip into errands. We went into so many stores trying to find the exact ceramic piece, the exact knife, the exact thing that I had pictured in my mind. And when I couldn't find exactly what I wanted, I bought something anyway, just to check it off the list. And that feeling didn't feel that great. Looking back, I wish I had let the experience lead, because the more I had tried to control the trip, the more it started to take away from it. There are also just small things no one really prepares you for. Trash cans. Basically non-existent. You buy something, finish it, and now you're just holding trash. Sometimes the solve is bringing it back to the shop that you bought it from and they'll dispose of it for you. We also found eating while walking. It's not really the vibe there. Drinks they seem to be more acceptable on, but food while walking definitely felt frowned upon. Rush hour trains, absolutely real. What you see online is what happens. People are literally packed in like sardines. Had we had more foresight at the time of day, I honestly would have Ubered during those like peak hours. To note, taxi doors, they open automatically. Don't be that American that starts just yanking on the handle to get it open. And shops often open later than you expect and close earlier than you expect. That's why 7-Eleven became my best friend, because I was like, I'm hungry. It's breakfast. Apple Pay worked way more than I ever thought it would. I'm an Apple Pay stan in the States, but I didn't expect to go over to Japan and use it all the time. My friend was tapping left and right, and I'm over here paying cash, and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? We barely use the cash. Google Maps is king, and when you pay by card, pay in yen. English, it is available, but it is not the priority. A lot of places, they have the English menus, which is great, but you'll find yourself having most of your interactions in simple, short phrases, using the Translate app, pointing, nodding, learning phrases like arigatou gozaimasu, sumimasen, konnichiwa, and you will use them constantly. What people didn't warn us about is the cities felt completely different. Tokyo, she felt like the cool girl. It didn't need to prove anything to anybody. It just was.
Last night in Tokyo, last night in Tokyo. Last night in Tokyo.
Kyoto, it felt peaceful, older, more traditional. Osaka, it felt loud, chaotic, almost like Japan's version of Vegas or New York. And some people will love that. For us, it felt overwhelming, jarring. The order of the trip, it matters. Because going from Kyoto's like calm, peaceful serenity and being launched into Osaka's chaos, it was a lot. If I did it again, I would simplify everything. I would not do 5 hotels in 10 days. I'd use Tokyo and Kyoto as my bases, 4 days in each. Maybe do a day trip to Osaka. Maybe do a day trip to Asakusa instead of staying there. We would forward our luggage once or twice, not constantly. And I'd watch less content beforehand because we kept saying to ourselves, this is not what TikTok said it would be. Not that it was worse, just that it was different. Sincerely, Japan has been one of the best trips I have ever taken. I would absolutely go back, like send me to Tokyo tomorrow, but next time I'd go slower. Fewer hotels, fewer checklists, fewer expectations, and more room to notice what was actually in front of me.
So long, farewell to you, Japan. Goodbye for now, until we meet again.